Some of the most financially stressed people I've ever met aren't the ones with shopping bags in their hands. They're the ones with a stack of coupons, the ones who pack their lunch every single day, skip the takeout, and still feel like they're one surprise bill away from a full-blown panic attack. If that sounds even remotely familiar, the problem isn't that you're not trying hard enough. It's not about frugality. It may be about the 7 money rules you were never taught. And that is the most frustrating part, isn't it? When you're doing all the things that are supposed to be good money habits and you still feel completely broke, you can't help but think the problem is you, that you're just fundamentally broken when it comes to money. I'm here to tell you, it's not. The truth is, a lot of frugal people don't actually have a money system. What they have is a permanent state of restriction with a constant humming side of anxiety. So today, we're going to walk through 7 money rules that hyper-frugal people often miss, and I'm willing to bet that by the end, you'll know exactly why saving money still hasn't made you feel safe. And make sure you stick around for rule number 7, because it's the one that shines a light on why some people can earn more, save more, and still never, ever feel like it's enough. All right, let's start with the biggest one. Rule number 1, you have no emergency buffer. If a single unexpected expense can completely knock you off your feet, you're not financially secure yet. You're financially exposed. This doesn't mean you're bad with money. It means your money has no shock absorber. It's like driving a car with no suspension. You feel every single bump in the road jarring you to your bones. Think about it. You spend 2 months being incredibly disciplined, you save an extra $300, you feel proud like you're finally making progress. Then you hear that dreaded sound from your car, a grinding noise that ends up being a $650 repair. Or your dog, bless his adventurous heart, decides to eat something, let's call it artisanal, off the sidewalk, and now you're looking at a $480 vet bill. In an instant, all your hard-won progress vanishes. Poof! That's why frugal people can feel so broke even when they are technically saving. Every single setback feels like a 5-alarm fire because financially it is. Here's what you can do today, not next month, today. Aim for a starter emergency fund of just $1,000. Not $10,000, not the mythical 6 months of expenses by next Tuesday, just a simple, achievable $1,000. That amount won't solve a life-altering catastrophe, but it will stop a whole lot of small disasters from becoming credit card debt. Open a separate high-yield savings account, and I mean separate at a different bank if you have to, and literally label it Emergency Fund, Do Not Touch Unless Life Punches First. It sounds almost too simple, but taking this one step fundamentally changes your entire relationship with money. Now, from the most critical rule to the one where people waste the most energy. Rule number 2, you're winning small battles but losing the big war. Many frugal people are absolute ninjas when it comes to tiny expenses. They'll drive to 3 different grocery stores to save 50 cents on a can of beans. It feels productive. It feels like you're in control. But while they're focused on the pennies, they never question the pounds. Your biggest financial levers, the places where the real war is won or lost, are almost always the same. Housing, transportation, insurance, food, and debt payments. That's where the real money lives. Saving $15 a month by cutting out a few coffees is nice. But lowering your car insurance by $80 a month, that's $960 a year. Refinancing high-interest debt, negotiating your rent at renewal time, or downsizing a car that's draining your budget, those moves can have a bigger impact than 6 months of extreme couponing. So here's a quick exercise. Pause and write down your top 3 monthly expenses. Not the little annoyances, the big ones, the ones that make you wince. Now, for each one, ask yourself, can I renegotiate this? Can I replace it with a cheaper alternative? Can I reduce it somehow? Can I pause it even, temporarily? That's where real progress is waiting for you. Frugality is a useful tool, but if you're obsessing over a latte while a bloated car payment is silently eating your budget alive, that's not a financial strategy, that's emotional support budgeting. And that leads us right into rule number 3. You're saving money with no job assigned to it. So many people tell me, I'm saving money. My first question is always the same. Great, what are you saving it for? Because money without a purpose creates a very specific kind of anxiety. You watch the balance in your savings account go up, but it doesn't feel meaningful. It just becomes this number that you're terrified to ever touch. That's because savings with no name feels like deprivation. Savings with a name feels like progress. Compare these 2 mindsets. First, I have $2,400 in savings. It's just a number. It's vague. It feels like a resource you might need for something. Now listen to this. I have $1,000 for emergencies, $900 set aside for my future apartment security deposit, and $500 for inevitable car repairs. It's the exact same amount of money, but it's a completely different feeling, isn't it? The second version gives you clarity. It gives you permission. Do this today. Create at least 3 savings buckets. Give your money a mission. Number 1, emergency. That's your life punched first fund. Number 2, a short-term goal. Maybe it's for a vacation, a new laptop, or holiday gifts. Number 3, a freedom fund. This one is powerful. This could be for a future career change, the ability to leave a toxic job, moving to a new city, or just buying yourself some breathing room. When your money has a job, saving stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like you're building something. And speaking of punishment, rule number 4, you're refusing to spend money on things that actually help you. Some people are so programmed to avoid spending that they end up making their lives more difficult and, paradoxically, more expensive. This is not frugality. This is expensive in slow motion. Skipping a $120 trip to the doctor for a nagging issue only to have it blow up into a $1,400 problem 6 months later, that's not frugal. Turning down a $200 online certification that could directly lead to a raise or a better job, that's the same mistake. There is a world of difference between wasteful spending and useful spending. Useful spending is investment. It protects one of 3 critical things: your health, your time, or your earning ability. If a purchase does one of those 3 things, it deserves serious consideration. Here's a simple filter to use. Before you automatically say no to a purchase, ask yourself this question: will this save me money, time, or stress, or will it increase my income over the next 12 months? If the answer is yes, don't reject it just because it has an upfront cost. Because now we get to the part that's less about math and more about your mindset. Rule number 5, you're operating from a scarcity mindset even when you don't realize it. The scarcity mindset is sneaky. It doesn't always sound like I'm broke. Sometimes it sounds like I can't risk spending anything just in case, or what if I need this money for something else later? Or the most common one, I'll just wait until I feel more secure to make a change. And then years go by and you're stuck in the exact same place. Scarcity makes every decision feel like it weighs 1,000 pounds. It convinces you that one wrong move will lead to total ruin, so the safest thing to do is do nothing. You freeze. But frozen people don't build wealth. They just become very, very responsible statues. Yes, being cautious is smart, but fear is a terrible financial planner. So try this. Write down one financial decision you've been avoiding because it feels risky. Maybe it's negotiating your salary. Maybe it's finally switching to a better bank. Maybe it's starting that side hustle. Now ask yourself this powerful question: what is the cost of doing nothing for the next 12 months? That question can change everything, because sometimes the biggest risk you can take is staying exactly where you are. And if you're relying on sheer willpower for all this, you're walking into our next trap. Rule number 6, you're doing everything manually. Managing your money manually sounds disciplined. In reality, it's just exhausting. If every single month you have to actively remember to transfer money to savings, and then remember to pay extra on your debt, and then move money for bills and check all the due dates, you're not building a system. You're performing financial improv. And eventually, life gets in the way. You get sick, you get busy, you get tired, and the improv show gets canceled. That's why automation is your best friend. It's not lazy, it's strategic. It builds consistency without requiring daily motivation. If you get paid on Friday, set an automatic transfer to your savings account for that same day. Even if it's just $25, the point isn't to impress anyone with the amount. The point is to build a habit that runs on its own. Your action for today: automate one single thing. A savings transfer, a credit card payment, an investment contribution. One single automation is worth more than 100 good intentions. Because now we've arrived at the final rule. And honestly, this is the one that explains why some people never feel financially okay, no matter how much they save or earn. Rule number 7, you've never defined what enough actually means. This is the deepest trap of all. If you never define what enough is, your brain cannot register safety. It's impossible. You could have more money in the bank than ever before and still feel like you're behind. Behind compared to what? You're running a race with no finish line. So what does secure actually look like for you? Is it having that $1,000 emergency fund? Is it having 3 months of expenses saved? Is it being completely free of credit card debt? Is it having enough margin in your budget to say no to a toxic job? If you don't define the target, you'll run forever and never feel like you've arrived. This is why some of the most frugal people are also the most stressed. They're experts at cutting back, but they've never defined what all that cutting back is supposed to lead to. So do this right now. Grab a pen, write down 3 numbers. First, your minimum monthly survival number, the bare bones. Second, your comfortable monthly number, what it takes to live without constant stress. And third, your I can finally breathe savings number, the amount in savings that would make you feel truly secure. Having those numbers written down gives your brain something it probably has never had before, a concrete definition of enough. So if you've been clipping coupons, skipping treats, and still feel that knot of financial tension in your stomach, This is likely why. You don't just need frugality, you need a buffer. You need to focus on the big wins. You need savings with a purpose. You need to invest in yourself. You need to shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of possibility. You need automation, and most of all, you need a clear, personal definition of enough. That's how you stop just being careful with money and start actually feeling secure. That's how you finally build a system that lets you breathe.